This video is sponsored by myself. With myself, you don't have to subscribe to anything to get security online, because you are just there to watch the video. By watching this content, you already indicate to the YouTube algorithm that this video exists, and this is free, even if you are technically spending your time on Earth, which isn't eternal because your metabolic functions have limits, not like mine's, because I'm a fictional character. So the best thing you can do is enjoying this fun fact video made by the author, which is also spending his limited time. Myself, the only trustable sponsor for the moment.
Tomb Raider was released in 1996 and quickly became popular worldwide. This popularity varies from country to country, and to determine it we could check the sales statistics, but they are difficult to access or incomplete. What I want to know is where the current fan base is located. When I analyze the data from my largest video on the subject, a trend emerges. The United Kingdom and the United States generate the most views. However, we need to take into account the total population of these countries, so we could quickly conclude that the percentage of fans in England is the highest. However, other factors come into play. The video is in English, so it's natural that these two countries would be at the top of the list. Perhaps it corresponds more to the proportion of the population that speaks English. Germans may speak English more often than other countries, and since Tomb Raider is called Tomb Raider in all languages, it is likely that people from countries where English is not widely spoken watched the video less, which resulted in less local propagation. Fortunately, we have access to this data, and that's where it becomes interesting. Austrians who watched this video watched it for a longer duration than others, even longer than English-speaking countries. In fact, the United Kingdom is only in 8th place. It is unlikely that Austrians speak English better than the English themselves, so how do we explain this result? Well, I don't know much about Austria, so I did some research. Let's hope the sources are correct. In Austria, people speak German. English is the most widely spoken foreign language with 73% of the population speaking it. The list seems to correspond to these percentages, but some countries with similar or higher values are missing in the top, such as the Netherlands. Furthermore, Serbia, which is in 2nd place, speaks English as much as France, which is ranked much lower. There must be something in the video that caught the attention of Austria. Perhaps the game took longer to reach certain countries, and Tomb Raider is currently making a buzz there. We can also look at the locations visited by Lara Croft around the world and notice that Austria is close to a large number of them. But in that case, a country like Italy should also appear at the top of the list, yet it is at the bottom, next to Japan. The popularity of YouTube in each country remains a factor to consider. It's possible that there are a lot of Italian YouTubers already covering the topics of the video, while there are fewer in Austria. Or maybe Austrians are the biggest fans, who knows? Perhaps there are statues of Lara in the streets and parades in her honor. If you are Austrian, please let us know. I asked ChatGPT for its thoughts, and it suggests that these statistics could be explained from a cultural perspective. Maybe the content of the video and its editing resonate better with the Austrian audience. This would be surprising but not impossible, as Belgium partially speaks German and is also influenced by Germany, so if I grew up there I may share common points with the Austrians without knowing it. In summary, Tomb Raider originated in England and then spread worldwide, first through Europe and the United States. Then, I published this video in English, which likely spread first to English-speaking countries, then to countries close to Lara's adventures, and finally, it was watched for a longer duration in countries close to my cultural style. The Tomb Raider games are infused with English culture, and this culture resonates more with certain countries that had almost immediate translations, while others had to wait. It's evident that Lara's shirt played a role, as well as the visited locations. She was also one of the first female heroines, which likely gave her an advantage in standing out from other games of that time. Some countries have experienced a faster digital transition, somewhat like if the PlayStation had been sold 1 year before the release of the PS2. For these countries, Lara has always had more serious competitors, and the first game seems less impressive to them. The nostalgia is different. When we were awaiting a classic Tomb Raider in Europe, it was like waiting for GTA 6. TV shows, radio programs and magazines talked about it. It was an event. Stores were stormed on the release date. Perhaps Austria is currently in a situation where the classic Lara is more popular than the modern Lara, or maybe Austria already had a similar heroine, and Lara took longer to establish herself. The age of the population probably has an influence as well. I compared the percentage of the Austrian population that could have experienced the early Tomb Raider games with that of other countries, and since the data is similar, I believe there is indeed a greater interest in these games in Austria. It would be necessary to have data from other YouTubers who have covered the same subject or to publish a video in multiple languages to verify if the explanation doesn't solely come from the algorithm. For example, there could have been a specific game promotion in Austria when the video was released. We also need to consider the probability that a subscriber shares the link on social media. In fact, the subscribers who received the video were mainly English, American, German, Brazilian, and Polish. Very few Austrians received the notification through this method, so very few of them had the opportunity to share it. But those who received it watched it longer than anyone else, so thank you Austria.